scrubs were the way to go, but I wouldn't do it because I was worried that if I put my staff in scrubs and my opticians were in scrubs, they wouldn't sell as much. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD podcast. We're talking about change, we're talking about growth. 4 things that I took big shots on that have paid dividends. I want you to be better than you are right now. After listening to this podcast, if you do one of these 4 things, if you take a shot or 2, your practice will be better. I guarantee it. We have the closing thought of the episode. This is the Ultimate OD podcast. Here we go. All right, my friends, the Ultimate OD podcast. Man, I am feeling old in the sense that I've been practicing for a while. And over the last year, there's been a ton of growth on my end. From literally going from the only doctor, the business is me, to having an associate that's producing, an office that's producing, me pursuing other areas outside of optometry in the sense of I was able to talk at the Twin Cities Ocular Disease Symposium, educate some doctors on Tixel. I am hiring a second associate, managing the staff, having one-on-ones, working with reps and developing our offerings, really developing the dry eye clinic in our office. It's been a ton of growth. And I feel like I've aged, not like tiredness or getting older, but in maturity in business, 10 years in the past year. Like almost everything it took from going from 2011 to now, or 2011 to 2024, from 2024 to now, I have the same amount of growth as a business owner. It's really fun. It's been really on purpose. And I've laid the groundwork for this probably the past 4 years, 5 years since I've started the podcast. The podcast was a great way for me to start thinking about what I do as a business owner and what it means to be an owner, the CEO of your practice. And I finally think I'm starting to do that. I've talked about it a lot. Even the beginning of this year, I talked about it, but I just went back to old faithful and just scheduled myself more exams and worked harder in a shorter amount of time. Burning myself out in a sense, right? Well, I'm seeing less patients. I'm taking more time outside the office, and I'm focusing on growth. A planned strategy to get bigger and better. And it's working, right? I take that as a huge, huge victory. And one of the things that I've talked about numerous times on this podcast, if I could give any one advice, whether it's my 7th and 8th grade football players, to undergrad students going into optometry school, to even optometrists searching for their next step in practice, I will tell them to take bigger shots, to take more risks, to go after it. And it's funny that I say that because I am in the same situation. I'm still trying to grow. And when I look back, take a step back and be like, what should I do next? I'm like, that's my advice to everyone. I can look at all the other people out there and say, hey, you're going to be fine. It's going to work out. If you just take a bigger risk, you'll get a bigger reward. Right? And it seems that simple to me, but when I'm sitting in the moment, it's my practice and I have to make a decision. It was hard to do, and I wasn't taking those shots. But I have taken a lot more shots over the past year, and I wanted to kind of recap those things of the shots I took and just my thought process for doing them and what I've seen as a result. Number 1, less exams on my schedule, a longer, more thorough exam with a purpose. I've seen my revenue per patient increase like $250 per patient because I'm taking the time to educate them on what is happening or what their eyes are going through and ways they can help it. I'm not afraid to have the conversation with the patient about the treatment options that we offer. I've also got out of the mindset of we have one way to get a result. You have to do IPL, you have to do RF, you have to do Tixel. There's a million different ways to do this. I've also come up with a better treatment protocol that gives them better, more long lasting results. I think early on I was selling a treatment. They do the treatment, they stop it, and they'd still have issues because they wouldn't do anything else. I'm getting better at getting them better results and maintaining those results. Again, I have to intervene a little bit more, but that's things I learned along the way. Now, realize that it's very hard for me, who's operated under every managed care plan you can think of. I know it's not the ideal, but it's the monster I created. But I've created the office I have because of that. If I could do it again, and I know what I know now, I might try to go the route of no managed care or less plans. But I've created this monster, and I'm going to keep it going. And from those managed care plans, I've pulled a lot of my dry eye patients, a lot of my specialty clinic patients. So I think it can be done a multitude of different ways. This is what I've created, and that's what I'm doing. But I was operating on volume. I just need to see more and more patients, and it was wearing me out, was not fulfilling, was not practicing at the level that I felt I'm capable of or I found rewarding. So now that I'm taking more time with a patient, literally, I was seeing 24 comps in that same time, maybe an hour less because I have football practice I leave for now. I'm seeing like 12. I've cut back that much, but I'm doing more revenue per patient. So you may be thinking, okay, he's just selling a lot of treatments. Even my comprehensive patients that are getting glasses are getting more from their glasses because I'm educating them more on what they need. So you see that you have value. What you talk about matters and resonates. You just may need to make sure you have a process in there that capitalizes on that experience. And I had good processes in place. I just didn't take the time to educate. Now, this is a big leap because everything I have done up to this point has been volume based. To cut my volume in half was a very gutsy move. I've had to revamp my schedule. I've had to revamp my pre-appointments, but it's been worth it. And after I saw the results the past 2 months, I went into my schedule and looked at all the pre-appointments and said, we got to move them because I got to practice like this now. This is the way I practice. All right. So taking the time to spend with patients, if you do it right, you can do it better. Okay. Number 2, I'll combine these two, bigger space and a new associate. I was at my office that was 1,600 square feet that I've been told from patients now that we're in the new office that was really small and really dark. Not the ideal situation. Doing about 1.2 million. Just one single doctor had like 7 employees in 1,600 square feet. Comical to see how packed we were in there, right? And what we were doing is it shows that you can do it in anywhere, but you can do it better. Moving to a newer space, all I saw was my schedule's already full. How am I going to get more revenue per patient? What am I going to do to make this happen? I couldn't see beyond my current schedule. I wasn't pre-appointing, so everything would fill up as we go, and it always fill up. But because I didn't have a good bearing on how many people were coming back, I wasn't tracking my KPIs, I had no data to make the decision. I kind of just had to say, hey, we're busy enough, it's time to go. We're bursting at the seams, it's time to go. Now that I have better KPIs, I have a better understanding of when it's going to be time to move. That's why I'm adding a second associate, because I can already see where we're at. Okay? But you look at where you're at, you're going to have to add more staff or you're going to have an increased overhead. And all I saw was increased expenses, not increased revenue. Talk to me. I can help you look at numbers. Talk to a consultant. But I'll tell you this, if you track the right KPIs, If you pre-appoint and know what your new patient rate is, how much you're growing year over year, you can make an educated decision on when it's time to grow. I probably waited about 5 to 7 years too long. I kid you not. If I would have moved quicker and faster, I would have been much further along. Now, in the same vein, we'll talk about adding an associate. Talk about the increased expense of a new building, but you look at the increased expense of an associate. Again, I can give you perspective, I can give you, my experience, but all you see is their year-end wage. They're going to make, $120,000, $150,000, $100,000. I don't care what it is. That's a lot of stinking money. You look at your bottom line, you're like, I'll be paying them literally some of my money for them to work here, because all I saw was the number that they were going to get paid. I didn't see the revenue that they were going to bring in. I didn't see the time I was going to get back that I could spend on growing the business. And it's cliche. You hear this like, I have more time so I can work on the business. I kid you not. I do, and I am. And we're growing. I could spend every waking moment of my week not being in the exam room and having things to do. I kid you not, I could do that. I like seeing patients. I like operating at a certain level. So I see patients 3 days a week now. However, there is so much that you need to work on that you are neglecting, that is holding you back, that is not allowing for growth. That will have exponential returns on quality of life, quality of your staff's life, quality of the patient's exam experience, and the bottom line of your business. An associate will bring in revenue. It's impossible that they don't. Now, you have to have things in place. You have to be ready for them to come on. It is not without effort, but it's worth it. It's a big jump, right? It is a going out on a limb, taking another shot, because think of how many doctors are out there that are doing this by themselves, that don't take that next step. Whether they don't have space, they don't have confidence, they don't think they have the patient demand, it's there. You could make it happen. You got to be able to work with people. You got to know what you stand for and know what you're bringing on. Those things matter. But that was a big jump I took, and that's paid dividends. Two other things, not quite as big. I've debated for probably 3 years of having either a uniform for the staff or getting the staff in scrubs. And I kid you not, scrubs were the way to go, but I wouldn't do it because I was worried that if I put my staff in scrubs and my opticians were in scrubs, they wouldn't sell as much. My patients haven't batted an eye at this. They don't care. And the uniformity, literally, of a uniform and what it does for the quality of the experience, how we're perceived in workups, how the office is viewed, has been great. Now, you have to look at your demographic where you're at. In a perfect world, I probably wouldn't have my opticians in scrubs, but because of how we do things, everyone is, and it hasn't had a negative impact at all. If anything, staff has more value with the position they have because they feel like they're more medical. They look better because we look like a team. Patients view our techs in a different light because they're dressed in scrubs. It's been a win all around. And I waited 3 years to make the jump. Now, again, you have to figure out how to pay for it and whatnot, and you can be cheap. But I got 4 sets of scrubs for every single staff member. I got a matching pair of shoes, and then they have to have black socks, right? Black shoes, black soles, black scrubs. I bought the kind that I wanted so we don't have, non-uniformity. Yeah, it's a little bit of an investment, but for the dividends it brings, the uniformity it brings, the consistency in our product, worth every penny. Now, as we go to get every year, as we get new scrubs, They get a $300 allowance, but it paid out 80-20. They pay 20%, I pay 80%. So they're not going willy-nilly just getting stuff. They're getting stuff, but they have skin in the game. Again, I'll let you know how that goes, but that's something that I waited too long for because I was comfortable. Didn't want to rock the boat. We'd always done it a certain way. Take chances, take big shots. The last thing I'll leave you with is knowing what to say no to. I tried to be everything to everyone, and I really wasn't anything to anyone. Once we got focused and we do dry eye, ocular health and wellness, and then optical, and honestly, really dry eye is our main focus. Even since we've gotten more focused on dry eye, we had those three things, but just dry eye, we've grown exponentially as well. You can't do everything well. You can do it okay, you can do it good, but then you're in that middle 50%. Need to be elite, that top 1%. Say no to certain things. Sclerals are one. Did sclerals, game changer. You get a ton of money from VSP or IMED, but it was a headache. You'd only do it here and there. I couldn't get staff trained on how to teach them how to put it on, take it off. It degraded our product. It took away from what our actual focus was. All right. In optical, we've narrowed our menu down to so few things. We are at the past 3 months, 96% AR percentage. We're killing it. Right? Because we limited our menu. How big is your menu in optical? How much do your opticians have to know? We've simplified it down. This is what the lenses are that we offer, and this is what we do. We don't do, if you're coming for a budget pair of frames and lenses, not us, right? The last thing on that is exceptions to the schedule. We used to make all kinds of accommodations to anyone and everyone to get them in. But it threw off continuity, it put people in the wrong place. They won't have the right amount of time to get the quality exam they deserved. Now it is what it is. The schedule is what it is. If it's the same day appointment, we have an opening, sure. But if it's a week out, you're going to have to make it work or we don't have that time available. Now, we have lost some patients along the way, but we've gained more. We have a better quality exam. The staff knows how to schedule. As you get bigger, you need to get more concise. You need to simplify. Simplification scales. Those are things that literally took me years to realize. If you do those 4 things, you'll be a better office tomorrow, right? I'm sure there's things out there that you could do that you just need to put your mind, your effort, your energy towards, and you will be better for it. Okay? So take big shots, get big rewards. That's what I have. We'll have more for you next week. Where, oh where has the time gone? We're to the closing thought of the episode, and I'll leave you with this. The only way to develop true confidence is to earn it. The confidence that you can bounce back from failure is earned by working through previous failures. The confidence that you can deliver the speech is earned by previous speeches you have given. The confidence that you can perform on game day is earned by previous performances in practice. In the beginning, you need courage to practice even though it may not go very well. And over time, as your skills improve, courage transforms into confidence. Courage first, confidence later. Get in the game, my friends. Take shots. Don't be afraid of failure. It may be the way you've always done it, but it doesn't mean it's the best way to do things. Don't get so complacent that you stop taking chances, you stop growing. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, but growth needs those 2 things to happen. Don't limit yourselves, be better. That's what I have for you. We'll have more next week. Dr. Lily out.